Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's discussion board question. So, you've just got finished reading through and doing the work for the very first 4 river civilizations. That is Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley, and China. As you go forward, you're going to be staying in East Asia. We're going to continue with China and going all the way through beyond the Song dynasty into the Yuan dynasty, or just about there, which is the Mongol dynasty. Please keep in mind we're staying there, then we're going to come back into Western Europe. So, with regards to this week's discussion board question, as you've read through all of these river civilizations, there are some things that they have in common. Obviously, they're on rivers, right? Let's see if I can get this. River. Now, we know the Mesopotamia is on the Tigris and Euphrates. Egypt is on the Nile. Indus Valley is the Indus. And China is on the Yellow River. What do these river civilizations all have in common? They have sedentary agriculture. S-E-D-E-N-T, sedentary agriculture. I hope I spelled that right. I'm having a moment where I'm not sure. So you'll have to work with me. But it is sedentary agriculture, which means people live in the same place and farm the land. Okay, when people are living in the same place, they have to figure out how are they going to get along. How do they get along with each other? Well, the way they get along with each other is they create laws. So during next week, you're going to see another video from me about laws and legal systems, and they are a reflection of that society, of that culture. The laws are a reflection of that culture. There's also going to be this week an opportunity for you to do an extra credit video, watch an extra credit video called The Ascent of Woman. Look in your Blackboard for it. It is from our library, so you have total access. No matter where you are, you have access to this. The very first one is the one that I want you to focus on right now. And in that, the history professor, is going to talk about the laws in ancient Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt, and I want you to think about them. She's also going to go over one of the earliest civilizations, if you call it that, or communities of people in Turkey, called Çatalhöyük. And what is very interesting about Çatalhöyük, as opposed to these river civilizations, is that what you see in the video, what you learn in the video, is that people lived in groups that were not necessarily their family groups. And it was very typical of a community-owned land and community-owned property. Community-owned, very big deal. And it has, think about this for this discussion board question. So, community-owned. community ownership of land. They practiced sedentary agricultural. They were farmers. They farmed the land as a group, but their idea of the land was from the perspective of the community owned the land. Really big deal here. Really big deal, because in the civilizations that we're studying here, these river civilizations, and the civilizations that we are looking at going forward, don't do that. And quite honestly, we never really do that. We really don't focus on these community-owned land regions and areas in the same way we study civilizations. And the big difference is here we have community ownership as opposed to these guys. And what did they have? They have private land ownership. Private land ownership. Egypt is more along the lines of a community ownership. Egypt is a very unique place of the four river civilizations because it was consistent. It was consistent. And when you know something is coming, you know there's going to be a flood, you know that you're going to eat, you know that life runs on a schedule. There's always a schedule that we can rely on, and we can depend on. It gives us a feeling of safety, And so the society and the culture is going to be a reflection of that safety, that you're looked after, that you're being taken care of, specifically by the gods, but each other can take care of, you take care of each other. And the laws reflect that. Relationships, gender roles are more equal, far more equal than in Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, or China, where we see really strong private land ownership concepts. And the laws reflect that. And it's the laws that show the rise of a patriarchal society where women, then the role of women is diminished, greatly diminished. And the laws reflect this. The laws are a window into these societies and these cultures, these civilizations. So when we went during the Neolithic Revolution from being hunters and gatherers to agriculturalists, what we're doing is not only are we moving from hunting and gathering every day and moving about, having kind of a nomadic lifestyle, to living in one place and farming that place. While it comes with really great perks like food surplus, specialization of crafts and of duties for people, what it also brings with it is a diminishing reverence for women, the role of women. The question for you this week in the discussion board is why? Why do you think that would be? Why do you think in community-based land ownership concepts, women and men are equal? Their gender roles might be different. Women may be doing this particular thing and men this, but their power is equal. When we go here to the concepts of private land ownership, we see a very stark contrast in that laws begin to emerge where men are on top and women are on the bottom. There are still defined roles they have to do, but their power differential begins to go further and further apart, men having much more control, and this is the rise of a patriarchal rule, as opposed to, and women having a very, not just a no rule, not ability to have power, but their power can be so diminished that they can be punched in the face for just talking. Now, if you don't believe me, that's okay. Check out The Ascent of Woman, and we'll get back to this. Use that video to answer this question, or in part. It's not going to give you the whole answer, but use that video to understand this, and then use your own words. Use your own words as you try and figure this out. Why is the differential so different with power between men and women, male and female, in community ownership of land versus private ownership of land? Okay, good luck. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. All right, bye.